So you can hear the first pair of stock super stock combo cars firing up and rolling into the water box, and two stock eliminator machines. TCS lane, the K-Stock automatic Fox Body Mustang up against Pete Legg out of Surrey in his 1956 Chevy Nomad. Pete Legg usually running this thing in Q-Stock automatic. Of course, the category with the NHRA Lucas Oil Sportsman Series, with stock eliminator being a staple. The NHRA Series. Wheels up launch for the Mustang. Pete goes red. Malorco Auto Parts lane, which doesn't really matter so much in qualifying. As the Fox Body gets down to the top end with 1167 with an 811 miles an hour, 1380 with a 093 miles an hour. For the Nomad, for Pete Legg out of Surrey, Dave Jung over there in his 1996 Camaro, 305 cubic inches of Chevy power, the GTA automatic machine, and up against the Dodge Dakota, the Q stock automatic Dodge over in the TCS lane. So looks like something a little bit wonky going on with the trees. There you can see the starter talking up here to the tower here to make sure that you get a quick reset. They'll back the cars both out of the beams, and Dave Jung, who's helping out this weekend with the Super Stock combo over the Super Stock side of things. And of course that high revving Dakota that's a former NHRA national record holder in class. So still some more problems, though. The Dakota's going to get a time as it will make its way down the TCS side of the racetrack and gets to the top end with a 1296 with a 698 miles an hour. And Dave Jung will have another attempt there in the Camaro, as you can hear him shutting him off in the water box. And Dave will back it up as the next pair already rolling up. So Dave Jung backing up the Camaro, so some problems for Dave's machine as it'll make its way to the water box. Next pair coming up, the Ken's Custom Auto Machine Chevy Malibu over there on the far side, the L-Stock automatic machine, and Super Stock Chevelle over here in the tower side, the Super Stock J automatic machine for the Stobie family. For a wheels up launch over there on the TCS side of the racetrack is again the Super Stock Chevelle against the Stock Eliminator Malibu. Wheels up a pair. 096 light for the TCS lane. 091 light over there in the far side, and Stobie is out of it early and is going to be coasting through to the top end. A 1200 with a 4 for the Malibu at 107 miles an hour. So waiting on the Chevelle to clear the top end, as it is John Buzinski out of Pitt Meadows in his 1970 Barracuda over there in the Lordco Auto Parts lane. The E-Stock automatic machine up against the Copo Camaro in factory stock D, of course. Factory stock, a newer addition to the world of stock eliminator racing with the Copo Camaros, Cobra Jets, and the Drag Pack Challengers. Camaro kind of drifting over towards the center line, able to drive it back into the groove as they head down the racetrack and through the traps with a 10, a 23 with a 532 miles an hour for the race in the TCS lane. And John over there in the 1970 AAR Cuda, an 11.02 with an O at 118 miles an hour for the E-Stock automatic machine. So Dave Jung back for attempt number 2 at getting his Camaro down the racetrack. The GTA automatic machine. GT standing for Grand Touring. Well, 305, and looks like this is going to round out stock, super stock combo, and more problems there for Dave as you saw the thing leave the line and lurch off the line. He's going to idle it down the racetrack to get a time in for qualifying to get him on the run sheet. So Dave Jung finishing off stock, super stock combo qualifying as he'll coast through the top end in that machine. And tough break for Dave there. Looks like he left before the tree is activated. There we go for round number 2 qualifying here in the NWCR, Northwest Class Racer Stock and Super Stock combo, combining the 2 NHRA Lucas Oil Sportsman Division classes into one category here for this weekend. John Buzinski in the 1970 Plymouth Barracuda. Over here in the TCS lane, the E-Stock automatic Barracuda up against the Q-Stock automatic 1995 Dodge Dakota of Bruce Floden out of Abbotsford. Bruce, former NHRA record holder in the Q-Stock automatic class with that V6 Dakota over there in the Lordco Auto Parts lane. Wheels up launch for John in the AAR Cuda, going 066 red in the tree, and he'll get to the top end with a 10.99 with an 818 miles an hour. Bruce Floden over there in the V6 Dakota, 1310 with a 5 at 98 miles an hour over in the Lordco Auto Parts lane. Dave Jung, Tower Side, 1996 Camaro, courtesy Lordco Auto Parts. The GTI automatic machine up against the Camaro of Ed Howder Jr. out of Linwood. Ed going red, 098 red for Ed Howder, but how about a 007 light for Dave Jung in the Camaro? Gets down to the top end with a 10.93 with a 6 at 122 miles an hour, 10.28 at 132 for Ed Howder Jr. out of Linwood, Washington, the winner of the Mission Divisional last year in the stock category in that Copo Camaro. Pete Legg, the Q-Stock automatic 56 Nomad over against the Malibu on the far side, and L-Stock automatic. Pete taking a stab at the tree in qualifying, going way red. 040 light for the Malibu over in the Lordco Auto Parts lane, 1196 with a 908 miles an hour. 1375 at 94 miles an hour for the Chevy Nomad of Pete Legg out of Surrey over in the TCS side of the racetrack. Attention in the pits, we need a blue Ram move from by the ET Shack. License plate NG7309. Again, a blue Ram 1500. License plate NG7309. 309, parked by the ET Shack. We need you guys to move that truck immediately. So it's like one final car lined up in the staging lanes, getting ready to roll out for stock, super stock combo here. So here comes, I believe is, the final car in round number 2 of Stock Super Stock Combo qualifying, the Fox Body Mustang, the K-Stock automatic machine. James Boyce out of Duvall, Washington, the Central Welding Supply sponsored Fox-bodied Mustang. 1988 Fox body with a little 302 underneath the hood. Again, running a K-Stock automatic. Going 010 red on the tree, heading down track, the TCS side of the racetrack. James Boyce coming across the stripe, 1166 with a 311.77 miles per hour.
Two green lights, we hightailed it up towards the quarter mile, and up at the top end of the racetrack, it'll end up being John Basinski getting there first by a good half a second over James Boyce. We move to Pete Legg in the Chevy, and then a good old Malibu over in the Lordco side. David Rastat takes the win over Pete Legg in the Malibu. Goes a 1.6 second gap up from Rastat. We move to Dave Jung and Bruce Floden, a 1096 to a 1311 for the Lordco Auto Parts Camaro and the Dodge Dakota. In the pits, attention in the pits. We're calling Outlaw 275 to lanes 2 and 3. Outlaw 275 to lanes 2 and 3. Limited street to 4 and 5. Outlaw 275 to lanes 2 and 3. Limited street to 4 and 5. Pro Street and Outlaw Street, you are on standby.
All right, here we go with, looks like a rerun of things in round number 1 of eliminations in stock super stock. A little bit of a miscue with the ladder there, so we'll have attempt number 2 at round number 1. As your field coming up to the line, it'll be fox-bodied Mustang over here in the tower side of the racetrack, the K-Stock automatic fox body for James Boyce out of Duvall, Washington. Up against John Buczynski in his 1970 Barracuda over there on the Lord Auto Parts side. 11:01 dial-in for John, 11:67 for Boyce, so the Barracuda going to have to wait on the Mustang. He's going to lead the line first. Wheels up, launch a pair is Buczynski trying to track him down as they get to the top end of the racetrack, and it's going to be Buczynski running an 11:01 on the 11:01 dial-in, 11:01 with a 7 thou away from being perfect for the Barracuda as James Boyce runs it through to a 11:79 with a 0 on his 11:67 dial-in. And up next will come Darren Stobie here, tower side, the 1965 Chevelle up against the Camaro of Ed Howder Jr. Stobie getting a slight head start over in the TCS lane, but still some problems for Stobie as he'll click it off early, and Howder runs it on through to a 10:39 on the 10:30 dial for the Camaro out of Linwood, Washington, the winner of the Lucas Oil Divisional race at Mission Raceway Park last year here at the Titanium Strip. As you got to look at the instant replay up there on the big screen, and the next pair already getting ready to stage it is Pete Legg out of Surrey, his 1956 Chevy Nomad up against David Rastad and his 1980 Malibu. David out of Maple Ridge. 13:15 for the Nomad, 11:99 for the Malibu. This one's going to be all David Rastad as 119 red goes Pete Legg in the Malibu here in the TCS side of the racetrack. So Legg having to leg it out, gets to the top end, unfortunately going red. As up next will come Dave Jung out of Surrey, his 1996 Camaro for Lordco Auto Parts. The Super Stock machine up against Bruce Floden, the Q Stock automatic Dodge Dakota with the V6. And Bruce with a 13:04 dial-in will get a big head start over Dave Jung with a 10:96 dial-in in the Camaro. So the Dakota leaving the line, trying to run dead on that 13:04. Dave Jung now in hot pursuit in the TCS side of the racetrack. Top end of the racetrack, it is going to be Dave, the Camaro, getting the job done, 11:12 on the 1096. 13:16 with a 1 for Bruce Floden on the 13:04 dial-in. So the Camaro moving on to the next round of stock, super stock combo, as we'll put Canada West door slammers on your 30-minute standby call. Again, that is Canada West door slammers 30-minute standby call. To the next round of eliminations for a stock, super stock combo. Again, we got the Pro Mods in the staging lanes, so gonna get ready to roll it up here. Dave Jung, tower side, up against the Barracuda over there for John Buczynski. So again, Dave Jung, the Camaro, dialed in at a 10:98 in the TCS side of the racetrack. And John Buczynski dialed in at a 10:99. 1/100th between these two. Barely noticeable the difference when the tree comes down. We'll see who comes out on top. even off the starting line, it's both of them trying to play the game on who's going to get out of it and who can try and stretch it. And how about John Duksinski going 10.99.2 on that 10.99 dial for John. And Dave Jung breaking out 10.97 with a 6. Fourth out too quick for Dave, and John goes dead on that 10.99 to move on into the next round. So Ed Hodder Jr. over there in the Camaro with the 1030 dial. Dave Rastad in the Malibu over in the Lordco Auto Parts lane. So this will be to see who gets into final round here for stock, super stock combo. The factory stock D Camaro, the Copo Camaro of Ed Hodder Jr. out of Linwood, Washington. TCS side over on the Lordco Auto Parts side of things. David Rastad, the Malibu, trying to advance to face off with John Duksinski. So we'll have a little bit of track prep coming up after this. So here we go. Problems for the Camaro on the starting line. Hodder, car shuts off, is going down. David Rastad runs it through to a 12.42 on the dials. So tough break there for Rastad as Hodder Jr. gets the car fired back up. He's going to coast it down the lane. That's going to do it for the semifinals of stock, super stock combo.
So we roll to the stock, super stock final for NWCR, where John Basinski out of Pitt Meadows, BC, dialed at a 10.98, going to go up against David Rastad of the Malibu, dialed at 12 seconds. Both racers pre-staged. It'll be a pair of green bulbs. This a race for the quarter mile. Basinski trying to run down Rastad. Double breakout. David Rastad going to take the victory. Went 11.98 on the 12-second dial, whereas it was a 10.92 to a 10.98. For John Basinski, David Rastad, your winner in NWCR Stock and Super Stock.